Good afternoon all, welcome in Valhalla, welcome in mister. I hope all is well. Yeah, back to a chilly Chernarus. Just going to do a little quick lock check. Have I got fish in here? Yeah. Infected up here. That's unusual. So we're going to go and check the train. I could do a bit of a loot route. But we have got, I think we've got more food upstairs. We'll need to rotate that. It's been up there a couple of days. Yeah, Arc Raiders is. I enjoyed that, and that's rare for the game. I mean, no, we didn't get into enter any PvP, but that, you know, swamp cock, frozen swamp cock. But that is just one element of the game. It can be a big element if that's what you're into. Yeah, that can be a big element, but it doesn't have to be. So it just shows you you can play different ways, you know. But you can't then get upset if you're starting to get shot at. You know, it is a shoot and extraction, scavenging game, so. You know, some people, their tactic will be to camp the extracts, chase shots. That's a quick, another swamp cock. Yeah, and I think, yeah, some people will probably get, like, rage quit. You know, they've got a quest item they've been looking for a long while, and they get shot. Or somebody does the emote, don't shoot, don't shoot. You let your guard down and they blast you in the face. I was watching a video on how they developed Arc Raiders. And yeah, it was initially a PvE only game. Initially, it was just PvE. You against the Ark, but then I think after a while they realised it would get quite stale if that is all you done. You know, helped each other. It'd be difficult to add new things. Well, or the unknown, the fear of the unknown. So when they had a little rethink. They kept a lot of the elements, but then they twisted it more to a PvP element as well, which is quite interesting. I won't say no. Medical supplies. No train. Yeah, like we've probably got more quests completed in a shorter period because we were concentrating on quests and not just looking for fights, and I think I have done for quite a while. And it is one, and I think it's, like I said, it's well tiered. If you start the quests, it does gradually build up to where you're going into the higher tier loot areas, medium to high tier. So that puts you in that position, you know. I'm not sure you could. Well, you could just gain money by looting the extremely low tier areas and making and, selling everything that you find. You can still make a bit of money up, but obviously you go to a high tier loot, and I think you can make like 200,000 if you're lucky. If you go to one of the high tier places. So it's all that risk versus reward, and then you could lose it all at the extraction. Dogs. I still think the dogs should have a go at the infected as well. See, this is when I wish I had a suppressor. You've got to be careful getting off here. You go straight off there. Oh my God. I think on the, it's 129, that is supposed to be only two dogs. Muffled because they're indoor shots. There's this distinct difference. I know when I was on official or experimental official, I got shot at by somebody that was in a build, and that was very muted. So I'm hoping that didn't carry too far with my horrendous miss shots. don't say it looks like a blue lock. That looks like a blue lock. Yeah. I thought for one crazy moment. But I think you can get them up there. I think you almost certainly can. I think these are these cicale birds? As in the like seagulls and yeah, it definitely sounded like some of the assets from Cicale. Oh, I'm going to take that for the shotgun, unless I can find a better one. Holsters are quite difficult to come by. Well, they can be quite difficult to come by. Plus, you can put a gun inside it, and it obviously only takes up, so a big gun that takes up 8 slots only takes up 6 slots in the stash or inventory. The only problem is you can't take it out if you put it in the if you put it in the holster, it disappears from your hotbar, so you can't draw it out of a container. I think you used to be able to, but that stopped a little while ago. Food already gone down. Crikey. Another belt. Q-Sing, welcome, welcome. Yeah, happy holidays to you. No police spawn there. Yeah, I hope all is well. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of like decorating. I'm going to get ready for it, just getting things in place, and all the space I made over the last couple of days has now been taken up with stuff. But that's something I'll tackle. Or say next year, like literally 2 days' time. The monk. A romance. I wonder if he's related to our monk. Our monk, the bromance. Yeah, I had quite a lot of space, and now it's but you think, well, I don't know if you ever decluttered much, but you just forget how much crap you amass. And when you try to declutter, you get caught by the nostalgia bug, where you have difficulty throwing anything away because, oh, so when you really need someone neutral to come through and just get rid of everything, because a bit like when you get raided, most of the time you don't even realise what you've lost. And some of these things I haven't touched for years, so I need to. Oh, good luck. Nutmeg. We don't need that. Although, if we find a Glock. So ideally, we want a deagle mag, or a deagle with a mag. That'd be perfect, and I can get rid of the pink chorizo, as much as it pains me, but then have a silenced deagle. What's with the new clan, the server? Oh, what? I'm not sure. I mean, there might be new groups. I'm not 100% sure. It's been routine for us at the moment, but that is a bit of a, obviously because of the time of year. I mean, you'll get some people on, and clearly because of the time of year, some people not on, because they obviously got time off and they've got. There's a mixture, I think, of newer people giving it a go, people being on because they're on the holiday period. And there are periods of, well, there's a thingy mask there, a mango mask, where the server just quietens down. But like I say, even when it's been full, you could quite easily think it's empty. So unless you physically check like the server, pop, I can never tell, because you just don't know. There's always something going on. Oh, I need that. Oh, great. There we go. Oh, that sounded like a shot or something. don't know, it could be like the ambient noises and stuff. I could have heard like a whoosh of the waves. Quite a splitting axe. It might have been my footsteps, I guess. Check the magic car. Punch repair kit. That's not so magic. Spray paint. A radar cap. We got Christmas tree. Oh, and presents as well. I really need to be checking in the houses as well. Yeah, I think there's a... I don't know how long the Christmas, that'll probably be for to like the 5th or 6th, I'd guess. I'm not sure when I'll get rid of it on here. So there's no police event. Dee 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 dee. Let's see if I can get a deagle. I don't think we've got a deagle now, but if we can get a deagle mag. Boo. Boo. So people normally run into places like this to unwrap all the presents. Holster. Boo. So we got another convoy spot to check. Atatan. Yeah, like I say, it's... You can never tell unless you're actively involved with something. It's always difficult to tell where people are, what they're doing. Obviously, we sometimes get a little bit of a heads up. If we see a lot of freshies, they'll normally tell you what's going on. If they're just, oh, well, I'm in a hurry to get back to so-and-so, have you got a couple of pieces of fish? But with all the groups, they've always got stuff going on. I say most of the time, they've got stuff going on. Should be really checking the houses because this is where you can find. Oh, good lord! This is where you can find presents, especially these. And that'll take a little while, I think, for them when they get taken out of the files or when they put them back to being, just for Christmas. If there are any that are about, obviously they still last a little while before they disappear, but not that long. I think they just get cleaned up in the... So the... Oh, another sewing kit. I'm not too, yeah. Shit, I'm stuck. Yeah, it'd be interesting to try and see how the Fireflies have got on, or Irish and Ed. They've obviously got stuff with FL because they're planting letters on, you know, more actively now. Okay, I'm going to go over the back here. Don't know if that's me or somebody else. I don't mind, like say, decorating and stuff like that. It's just to do it properly, it's time consuming, and you want to do it properly. And I've done, you know, I haven't done loads, but I've done enough to know that when you've finished it and it looks terrible because you didn't sand it down again, you just want to get paint on the wall. Yeah, you want to try and avoid that. It's all in the preparation. I know sometimes you just haven't got the time. That's probably a feeble excuse, but you just, you know, you've got other commitments and you need to get it done, so you don't probably do it the best you can because of time constraints. Now, if you're good enough, obviously you'd be quick, but like most of us, it's DIY. I think even with white clothes on, moving across the field, you're going to get seen. It's just that you're really silhouetted. So there could be another convoy up here. But there's not. Just at this junction. Well, might as well check the magic car, Bernard's car. I've been running everywhere as well, which doesn't help at all. So there's the pub. Oh, I need to go past the Trailblazers base and see if there's a sign saying if it's a different group or not. Now that gentleman must be cold, or he's northern, because being there in just your shorts. Look, another one there. Truck battery. So the magic castle, last time I found a 4-dial up here, the last time. Now I've heard people say they've found a 4-dial in the same location. There's another cock there. The very next day, or the next time they looked. So the magic car. No, nothing in the magic car. Do I get that cock? Where is it? There it is. You got a field cock and a swamp cock. tripod on me, haven't I? Should have dropped that off. Got this little industrial, so I found nails up here before. In that shed there, with a blue lock right next to it. Another northerner. So nothing. He's going to hear me. Might drop it off with Bucky. I think he likes these canvas ones. I'm not sure the colour, but it is a wintry one. Typical when you try and make space by cutting it up and you actually get more. Welcome in, Joe. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Another shovel, so it is shovel day. Don't aggro anybody, don't aggro anybody. Yeah, so I can follow this tree line. Yeah, I'm going to drop this off. Because I know he likes the canvas backpack. That's not a bad 30 slots. One piece of fish left. Yeah, I'm not I'm not a fan of triple carrying at the best of times if I can help it. I'm really not. Even just fighting off infected, let alone getting shot or not being able to get your gun out because you panic, or I panic and I can't get me. I can't drop the backpack, or I can't drop the second gun or something like that. It's so where possible, I try to. Try not to, unless you run it, unless you're triple gunning because you pick somebody else's gun up because they've been coasted, or. But yeah, I've never been never a fan of triple carrying, and realistically, I mean, I think it's just habit to fill your bags up. Gideon's got it down to a T. yes, it might be a case you can't carry much, but most of the time you don't really need to. You know, boxes and nails are single slot. Obviously, locks are nine slots. Oh, good lord. No, I don't need it. I don't need it. 308's difficult to come by. Well, most ammunition is difficult to come by, but blazers tend to be quite easy to get hold of. It's just the ammunition is extremely tricky. So I'm going to bypass Kozlovka. Nothing ordinary. Hard as nails. Now, if that was a tundra or something like that, I think we might have a hunting scope. I might have triple carried, and that's why I like carrying a double barrel, because you can find double barrel. I know this is an R12, but I normally carry a double barrel because it's so easy to drop to pick something else up if you don't want a triple carry, because you can find them really much, on the coast. So that's quite an easy trade-off, like dropping the R12 for. Well, you obviously not wanting to triple carry, but dropping the R12 off to take your blaze back. It just doesn't work. So that now I can never find. Now I haven't got a map on me either, but I can never find this. I run round and round the base of this. Now I'm trying to picture. So Zelen is there. So I think it's over the other side. Or it's over that side. I really can't remember. I normally end up running around the base of Green Mountain till I stumble across the hunting camp. But I think if you run down the path, so I think it's over. Yeah, that's almost like Arc Raiders. Then I'm pressing my middle mouse button to get a ping up. But yeah, it's almost. I think it's where the path that goes up and over. It's on the right hand side as I'm looking up the path. But failing that, I'll just run around. The base of it. Oh, I'm going to go out in the open, aren't I? Yeah, I think if I keep to the right hand side of Candy Cane. And then go up and over that side. I mean, I could go up and see the clowns, but I've got nothing to give them. That's why I like keeping hold of a map, because I know roughly where it is. But I like keeping hold of a map, because you can just confirm, I might have to build, hopefully he's got a stove set up. it was all part of the adventure. Getting lost. Yeah, that's where I think it is as well. Yeah, if I was to follow this path, I'm going to stay away from there. I think it is. I know I'll find it eventually. Probably get shot by a mango who's out hunting. See some heli crashes as well. Shooting stand. I can't resist that while I'm up here. Probably find like a box of 308. Yeah, right. How about now? Oh. Stay in the tree line. Yeah, this is where we saw the heli crash. And we saw someone in the distance. And it is, you know, how you can get lost. I mean, candy canes are there, but you have to look for it. You know, I know if you run uphill, you're going to get there from pretty much any. As long as you keep going uphill, you'll see it. But it's quite easy to, you know, if you're looking around trying to find where you are, it's quite easy to miss that, even though it's a big red and white radio tower. I think Bucky and DayZ first started the pub here, so they kept getting attacked. Yeah, they kept getting attacked. I like the orienteer and compass, I really do. Oh, there we go. First time. Not the way I thought I was anyway, but I just saw one of the little cabin roofs. Yes, the entrance, yeah, so I think if you come down there... Oh, if I'd have followed that path, I think it takes you there. campfire tripod. I'll see if I can pick it up after I drop this off. Oh, that's what he was saying about his streams frozen over. Okay, flashlight. Oh, crikey. That'd be good with a I think the red dot's probably a bit better with the longhorn, with the deagle. Oh, you need duct tape. So I can't repair it. I'll put it on this step. Oh, he doesn't need a fire because he's got one in there, hasn't he? Yeah, because you have to follow this track down. There's not a track that takes you up here from. If you follow this creek, I think this overlooks the Len, doesn't it? Yeah. Can't carry it really anyway. just spooked it now there. So what? That's the road from Kozlovka, I think. Yeah. Or it's over the other side of those trees there. Oh, they've got a... No, I'm not going in there. They've got a Christmas tree. Yeah, that's the military over that side. Yeah, so it's over that hill. Nothing really to be gained. I don't know what that group is. Let's set up there. Yeah, there's a power lines over there. We'll cut through here. Yeah, we saw the heli crash. I got this backpack from the heli crash up there. Surprised I've not got a cold yet. I don't know if they've set up in the same place as the 506 did, because you can see it as you came. You can see it as you came down here. think you need the slightly smoked lenses on these, just for the sun blindness. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know, they said they're not working on AI at the moment, but hopefully that's one of the things when they get time to, they move on to. Trying to find a little house off just Nadazino, sorry, Kozlovka. Try Negan's place. Is there. Good afternoon, boss. I've just run up to Bucky's place, dropped him off a backpack. Just going to check Negan's place. I've got some swamp cock and field cock to cook. So that you can get gassed here, so it's that sounds like not Kamensk, Komarovo. Or Kamenka. So, nothing in here. I've got to try the magic barn and truck up here as well. But that wind does sound like infected. Yes, you've got to watch these bloomin'. They trap you unawares when you're looking for maps. There's big red. So I'm gonna check this top bit, then go through into the trees, and then start heading back. Because you've got the two sheds on the outskirts and then the truck, and I'll fill my thing up at the well. Those two sheds up there. Shh, nobody see me. Shh. That's a hoe. 2 round screwdriver, backpack, nope. This is another magic garage. Oh, no, just running shoes. So the welder's there. Be rude not to check in there and in the camping shop. And in here. So somebody's had the ammunition out of that. Whatever. I thought it was someone whistling then, not a pesky varmint. Oh, I've been in here before. I thought I had, but I thought I'd just double check. I'll go past the Trailblazers and just see if there's a note up or something, because there was definitely a Canadian flag up there the other day. The park ranger that's always there. Oh, and a northerner. Out for a night on the town in his yeah. I'm not going to do the northern accent because there's so many to choose from, but yeah, they call this cold. This isn't cold. There's the other house there, so this is like Nadazino. And I'll cut across that way. Yeah, how quickly you can lose visibility. That's such a good mod. Well, all the weather changes are such a good, you know, addition to the game. Because this is a completely different map. Even though it's Chernarus, it feels like a completely different map. Or Chernarus. That wind does sound like pondering infected. Excuse me. Ah. Yeah, there's still one up there. And it's not quite to the top now, it's like... well, it's I think it's half mast as they call it. tarp shelters. Head torch. Yeah, is that on? No, how can it be? Got no battery in it. I know it's all to do with volume, but I just literally went within like 10 foot of it. Yeah, I know it's to do with like ground conditions can have an impact and all that stuff, but yeah, how quickly you can get turned around. That looks like somebody's been through. Camera. Yeah, so the Christmas trees were completely bare. And there is one in Wormagorst. I think this is new, I think. ORCC. I haven't got space for it, unfortunately. Oh, good afternoon, Christopher. Yeah, it's going well. Just been on a little run up to Bucky's place. Dropped him off a little backpack. Checked some possible convoy police spots on the way. Weather's, again, has closed in, so if you didn't know where you were going, or you're not too familiar, you can get lost so easily, because when it comes in like really thick, your visibility is non-existent. You know, I got lost in the swamp, and it's no more than like 200 meters away from where we needed to be. Might have been a little bit more, but not much. I had to keep getting the compass out to check. Yeah, I've never really had much luck here. I'm not saying that you can't find stuff. Right, we'll see if the police thing's appeared since we've been gone. I've already hit the military. Twig snap and oh, we've got to check in there. We didn't check in there, did we? Yeah, there's a 3 dial up there. Boom. 3 dial Shmee dial. So I do need to rotate them through because they've been a couple of days. They last a little bit, but we don't want them going rotten. That's just a waste. I've got 2 of these. There we go. And some. Swap that out, put you in the fire. Because apart from tying somebody up, that's no good. Oh, just stood in the chicken. Oh, I'm going to have to fill up my the lighter that Gideon gave me. And I just think you're going to have to replace it when you get, or be careful when it gets badly damaged, because they ruin. They must have so many uses in them, which I don't know if you can repair them. If there's anything you can use to repair those the Zippos. Stood in the chicken again. You have to keep it in a container because it can get ruined through normal hits as well. So I'll swap these over with the stuff in there. Yeah, I think they changed it to where you need firewood to be more useful for getting the heat buffs. A cow, I think firewood, because normal sticks, even a stack of 5, doesn't last as I think long to start giving you the buffs. And I think once the fire goes out, although the stove stays blistering, I don't think it radiates the heat. Like it did. Yeah, so now the fire's gone out. It doesn't radiate as much heat as it used to, or as it did. Let me put them in there. The reindeer, I think, was the last stuff we put in there. So if I take fish out instead. Let's just rotate this so anybody who takes it will take the stuff at the top first. Jenga. Food Jenga. There we go. Oh. Well, this, yes. Welcome in, Faded Truth. This is a like a community base. It's yeah. So we're the woods. I haven't got a map to show you, unfortunately, of where we are. We're in Prigger Rocky, but this is yeah. This is more of a community base than a fighting base. We get shot at quite a lot, but if we keep our heads down, we're quite safe. We get raided still, like everybody else does, but we don't. I don't want to jinx it. We don't often get raided as much because we're not really a shooty group. We try and help people on the coast, be it groups, factions, or anybody who's just turned up. So yeah, we tend to get tolerated and left alone until we upset them, and then they come and raid us. But the what I call the shooty groups on here, if they turn their attention to you, they're going to get in. You might slow them down, but they raid bases and shoot other survivors for a living. So they, yeah, if they plan it, they get in, and obviously you can't or you've got to try and use buildings to the best of your ability. You know, the only mod for building is the little half doors. I'm not sure. I don't know if you've seen these, but these are probably one of the, for me, when it comes to base building, one of the best additions. Putting little half doors in so you can block off those without having to put a full-size door panel that would end up swinging through the door or through the wall when you open it every time. So that's yeah. I wish I had a map so you can see how many groups, but I gave it away. You see, so we tend to just give stuff away. We tend to fish quite a lot because it's easy on the coast. So the PvE side of it, this is like an open PvP server, RP. Well, if so, this is like RP server, but don't let that put you off, because it's for me, it's I think the best server I've found for my type of DayZ. You know, there's nearly 10,000 servers out there. I like official settings or official servers. I'm not a fan of the heavily modded. So on here, one of the easiest ones is obviously I've got the hit pack on, which is your water bottle slot here. But what they've done here, you can put binoculars in the water bottle slot. You can put med pouches in the water bottle slot. You can put water bottles in there. You can put crossbow quivers. A little mail pouch for carrying notes, because you can write notes on these. They used to have them on official, but I believe it, like, unfortunately, like a lot of things with the best intentions, just got abused. So they took it out. But yeah, you can find pens and paper and you can write notes. So if you go to a base and you want to try and meet up with somebody and they're not in, you can just pin a note to the door. And as far as I can tell, that they're not abused, or it's not abused here, but it is recorded in the file. So if it was, they would know who it is and take the appropriate action. But yeah, more people on here are here to engage, you know, interact with other players. There is still KOS, that still happens. You can get punched out by a freshie at the well, if you know, and that can be any of the group members if they see you've got stuff, or it could be what we call a crackhead who's just off the coast with nothing to lose and everything to gain. So all that goes on. But yeah, we live in Prigger but there's, and I always say this to people who are thinking to give it a go. If you do give it a go, if you play like you do on official, you're not going to get the best out of the server. You'll still enjoy yourself, but you're not going to get, in my personal opinion, you're not going to get the best out of this particular server. Loot is difficult to come by, even in the military zones. Guns are not as in great numbers as you'd find on official. Ammunition is extremely rare. The most valuable things on this server are nails, 4 dials and epoxy. They're the most valuable resource, because they're harder to find, for one thing, for the most part, and you use more of them to build stuff than you do on official. So yeah, there's not much of them and you use more of them when you start building bases. So for us, I mean, to try and get the materials to fill in all these walls we've got cam nets in would be a horrendous task. And also you have to think about like server stability. If we put like the panel in all this to close it off, you know, people driving cars past there, you might find they have a little headache as they come past, and we don't want that. And it's about trying to utilise the buildings to make it as secure as possible, but it's never safe. Like I say, everybody, even the traders. So there's player traders on here. There's 2 main player traders, and they get raided as well. So nobody's safe when it comes to raid. And normally they'll tend to be a bit of a story or a bit of a thing that started it. Like one group's attacked another group, or one group's raided another group. They'll normally do it with a purpose. Sometimes to send a message, but they won't come in and level everything because that's against the rules. They'll come in, take what they want and go, and probably leave a note, you know, to say secure your base better or something, so you know who it is, so you can act accordingly on any like vengeance or counter raiding. Yeah, but I've been here nearly a year now, I think, not far off. And if the server grabs you, if you get into it, I think you struggle to play another one, because there's a group or a faction that will suit the way everybody plays, and it's just finding them. That's the challenge. Some groups will actively recruit in the Discord, so you can read up on all the, not all of them, but a vast majority of the groups who are active in the server. You can read up on them and see if what they do is what you might trying your hand at. There's everything from helpful groups to cannibal groups, and across the whole spectrum in between. And some will only deal with, interest in the group is finding them in game. So there's a big thing here about find out in game. So if you know where they are, you then go up and then start your journey with them if you can find them. But like I say, some groups will actively recruit on the Discord, and some groups won't have any interaction outside of the server, as in the physical server, to try and keep it, organic. It's good. It's great. I was fortunate to find this group by chance. I ran across that road there to try to check loot the military. They shouted up at me. I had a chat with them, and
Woodsmen? The fucking Woodsmen.
Oh, thank you very, very much for the sub. Very, very much appreciated. Yeah, it's so these are the pens and paper. So you can. There's all different colours. There's different fonts. You can write the notes there. When you unwrap this, you always get 2 pieces of paper. So anything that you normally get 1 piece of paper, you get 2 pieces here because you can write notes. And it's again, and I'm biased because I've really enjoyed the server, but it won't be for everybody. For whatever reason, that won't be for them. Whether there's not enough loot, whether they don't have the time. Because I think with this server, if you invest time in it, get to know some of the groups, some of the people, because the server's been going 12. I always get this 11 or 12 years now. It's been running for, and some of the people who have been here from the start. Some have just got here. Some have been here everywhere in between. So if you can get to know some of the groups, I think one of the mistakes, or potential mistakes, because again you're free to play how you want, is sometimes people get on the wrong side of too many groups too quickly when they first start to play. And obviously you're supposed to keep your character, keep your name, keep your character, and that's how you start to develop your character. And they might randomly shoot at one group, so they're and they find out who it is, so then now they're after you, and then they'll go to another group, upset them, and then before they realise that they've got 3 of the main groups after you who will pretty much shoot you on sight, or at least hold you up, take your stuff every time they find you. And then it's difficult then if you do find a group that you want to join, they won't necessarily take you if you've got 3 groups, because as soon as you join the group, they're then a target of the 3 groups that are after you. So it can get quite complicated quite quickly, and it's so different to play, and it gives DayZ, and if you like DayZ, it gives the game so much more depth than I was used to. Like doing the loot routes, western loot route up the west side of the map, or through here, Mokolevka. I'll probably call these the wrong places now, but yeah, straight north here, or doing the Svet run west. You've got groups in between now. And our group here is to be on the coast if anybody needs help. We try and help them out with a little bit of food, a little bit of medical. We still get shot, we still get crackheads shooting at us from the hill, but it keeps us on our toes. It'll never stop us what we do. And that's what I like when people hear about role-playing servers. Again, I had that misconception till I played it, only because what I'd heard, not what I'd seen. But it's having a role to play in the server. That's as basic as it needs to be. Now, if you want to be a bandit, but just make sure everything ties up, to being a bandit. Or because you can't really be a bandit one day and then be a good group the next day. It just confuses everybody. So yeah, just think about how you want to play initially, and then just explore the map. Because I wish I had the map, but I've given my last one away till we find some more. But yeah, explore. I explored for a couple of months, running around the map, trying to get a feel for it, but I kept coming back here to this group, A little bit difficult to meet up with them because the majority of them are in like America land. But yeah, we've got the Fireflies just up the hill in Pooster, where the dirt track is from the well. Well, just behind those trees there's a house, but at Pooster there's a group there. In Chernarus on the island, you've got the Legionnaires, you've got the Guardians, you've got who else? Yeah, all sorts, and some of them are on the map and some of them aren't, so it's just a case of finding out. And like we live on the coast, so we tend to just use what we find on the coast. I mean, Mosens aren't too far from here if you know where to look, if you're lucky. And the R12 comes from the police convoys, and there's one just over by the gas station, there's one in Cherno, I think there's one in Electro at least, and there's a few on the coast, so we tend to make do with what we find on the coast. I'm only really wearing a stab vest because it's a little bit warmer than a normal vest that I was wearing. And we were getting shot at a lot more. Normally we go for carrying capacity over protection. You know, we don't really run around with helmets or plates because plates are quite difficult to find, and also you need epoxy to repair them. Which again, and you use more than you would do on official settings. I haven't repaired one myself, but I think it's either a whole stick or it's half a stick per like quality level. So if it's badly damaged, it goes obviously badly damaged, then it goes to damaged, then worn. So that's potentially 2 sticks or at least a whole stick. And yeah, but if you're a shooty group, you need that extra protection, so you will trade quite highly for the epoxy. But it also repairs fishing rods. But you can get, I think a stick of epoxy will probably get you a box of nails, depending on how desperate they are for it. And even though, like I say, it seems quiet here, I mean, it's the time of year as well, obviously New Year's Eve and the holiday period, so, but even when the server is chock-a-block with people, as in full with a queue to get in, sometimes you'll feel like the only person on the server because you're just in that place where nobody else is, or the next moment you'll hear all sorts going off because we live on the coast. The Legionnaires and Blackthorn have been raiding each other. The Fireflies get raided, so you'll hear shots ringing out, and then there'll be nothing. You know, you never really know what to expect. But I might run into Electro. Yeah, I'm going to go and check the Christmas tree on Electro. I'll take a couple more pieces of this fish. I should have took it from the other side.